Hi, this is Doug with Aytwit Engineering, and I'm happy to report that Fairy Tale Trail is complete. So if you are new to this channel, Fairy Tale Trail is a trail that I've been working on for the past 3 years in rain, sleet, snow, ice, just getting all bloody and muddy to make a trail that will connect to the state forest trail system deeper in the woods here. Now this is a boulder lined trail, and every single boulder has been pried up by hand with my toothpick here, as I like to call it, my 20-pound iron pry bar. So let's pick up the camera and take a little walk down the trail and see what all the updates are. So right off the bat, if you remember the last video, probably not, but I've added these 3 stones, these 3 boulders on either side of the entryway to the trail, just to give like a nice kind of indication that there's a trail here to begin with, because when you're looking out like from my back porch, you can't even really tell that there's a trail here otherwise. So nice little addition. It kind of sucks you in here, and you can kind of get the overall vibe I'm going for with this trail, which is a snaky shape going through the forest, a sexy, sinuous shape. And that's partly intentional and partly because that was in fact the path of least resistance through the woods. When I say least resistance, I'll get to what the major resistance was with this trail. Right off the bat, you can see some really giant boulders that I technically pried out of my garden area and rolled here. I did another video on that. As we go deeper, yeah, lots of, you can see the ground has a lot of rocks poking out here. There's this old saying in New England that rocks grow out of the ground like potatoes, which I always thought was a joke, but now I am not so sure, because particularly in this area of the trail, this is the area of the trail that I worked on first, this was all dirt when I started, and lo and behold, look at all these rocks poking out. Now I started to try and pry these out over year after year, so I'd pry a bunch of rocks out, make it all dirt again, nice and smooth, and what happened next year? There's more rocks poking out. So this is a mystery to me that I'm still trying to figure out. I've been digging a hole, if you've been watching that video, and it seems like rocks concentrate in the topsoil layer, which may have something to do with it. So if I take the camera over here, maybe zoom in a little bit, you can see all these boulders just laying around. This is what the woods looked like before I started on my trail. It was just a bunch of boulders. And all of those boulders are what are now forming the walls to the trail. So let's keep on going a little more here. Here it's probably hard to see on camera, but I am like going down a bit here, because this area in particular had a bunch of huge boulders under the ground, where like literally just the tip of the boulder was showing above the ground, so you clang it with your iron bar, just hoping that it's like a fist size or basketball sized rock. And well, a few weeks later you're still working on getting some of these things out of the ground. Keep going. Again, lots of big boulders here. I'm not sure how these look on camera, but these are big pain in the asses for a single person to deal with. Here we get to the point in the trail that I was originally going to call it the end. And I did another video, there was a tree going across here. I did another video where I chopped that up with an axe. Go check that out too. Some shirtless action. But yeah, even though I was going to end the trail here, something made me continue it deeper into the woods. Don't know what it is exactly, but I was compelled to do it. All the way up to the end here, and I recently made a video where this boulder right here was leaning on this boulder, and this might have been the reason I wanted to extend the trail, or not me, but some mysterious force wanted to extend the trail, because I had to kind of, watch that video, but use the iron pry bar with a ratcheting technique to split these boulders in two. And it was the culmination of 3 years of effort. That really was the last major thing to do before calling this complete. And when I call this trail complete, like any good creative project, it's never really finished. If anything, it's 60% towards what the ideal vision I have for it is, which is like all these boulders really neatly fitting together, being thicker, more uniform, having no kinks in the trail. Right now, depending on where you look, it's like this perfect snake shape. But if you turn around or you come down the trail from another direction, you see all these like kinks in the trail. So yeah, when I say it's complete, I have the basic structure in place. It's smooth enough to roll a cart down or whatever. So let's say structurally it is complete now. Now I will be spending the rest of my life, or the rest of the time I own this house, just smoothing it out every day, maybe picking up a rock in the woods, bringing it, and finding a nice spot for it to sit in. Just so over the years it's just going to get smoother and smoother. Let's have a nice little trail side chat to close this out. So I want to take a second to talk about pride in your work. So I've completed many projects throughout my life, and for many of them afterwards I feel a great sense of accomplishment, of pride, right? The ego gets involved. Oh, look at me, I'm so great. In fact, I use many projects when I'm down to look at them, even like touch them, just to kind of bring my spirits back up and say, hey, look, I did that. I accomplished something. This trail was the first project in my life where I finished it and I feel almost shame every time I come out here. And shame is not the perfect word for it. It's not exactly shame. I am proud of what I did. There is a sense of accomplishment, but when I say shame, it's that I've been working on this for 3 years, and it's just brutally hard physical labor. And when I come through it, it just doesn't seem like it should have been that hard. It seems like something I should have been able to do just in a few weeks or something like that. But again, something compelled me to make this trail, and I'm glad that it did, because it's good to get your ego knocked down a bit. It's good to realize that even very simple looking things like this can take a very long time. It's very humbling, but in a good way. Even throughout the woods that continue on from here, you see trails, stone walls that are, I'm 6'7", I'm a tall guy. They come up to about here, my belly button, and I can lay on them vertically. Like, these walls are just gigantic, and they go on for, at least hundreds of meters. In total, hundreds of meters, probably miles in total, in these 200 acres of woods behind me, or in front of me. My trail is nothing compared to the raw amount of energy that must have gone into making those walls in the woods. And then you compare it to like the Great Wall of China or the pyramids, and like my 3 years of work on this is just like a kid cutting out shapes in paper, and it's like nothing. But I'm not trying to get down on myself or humble brag or anything like that. I'm glad this project is over. I am proud and shamed and humbled all at the same time. If you like this video, please like, share, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye.